All right, so no persona, no costume, no anything, just straight heart-to-heart talk right here. And so today is still November 6th, 2018. Midterm elections right now are still going down. We're still getting the results of all the elections. Um, and so I just got off of a stream about an hour ago, about an hour and a half ago, with S Man Speaks, and he had like a host of a bunch of other people that were like leaning more Democrat than Republican, and they were all just kind of uh freaking out, suffice to say, about the possibility of the seeming possibility that Democrats would be losing to Republicans. And it's not so much that I want to like rub it in anyone's face or anything like that. In fact, um, it's more like I was cringing to death on the inside of witnessing that. And in a way, if you hear background noise there, by the way, it's guests. But anyway, it kind of reminds me of myself back in 2008 and 2012, and to a certain extent 2016 as well. Like, I did not have a very good sportsmanship to loss in those three elections. Like 2008, I practically cried over the election of Obama, and then that was just looking back on that, I was overly pessimistic and I guess paranoid about that. And then 2012 happens. I did not react too much better. Again, a little bit too pessimistic and paranoid about that, and just not having a very good sportsmanship. And then 2016 rolls around, and I did not react badly so much to the results of the general election, although in the primary, when Cruz had withdrawn his own run for nomination for Republican candidate of President of the United States, and Trump ultimately was going to become the Republican nominee, I was, safe to say, one could almost say heartbroken. Like, this is like back in my Christian conservative like echo chamber days. And for the one person who is viewing right now, I do not have the chat pulled up. No, I'm just gonna like I'm just doing this video as like a message to everyone. But my message to everyone, like whatever side that you stand on, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, Trumpist, Bernie bro, whatever you might be, to have a good sportsmanship about whatever the results might be. It ain't very good PR when you be having a meltdown over the fact that your own candidate lost an election. And you do not help change anyone's minds by utterly just rubbing in people's faces the fact that your own guy won an election, to the point that it just pisses off your opposition, to maybe it does lead them ultimately to have a meltdown, etc., etc. It's just unproductive, I say. And when I go looking back on 2008, 2012, and 2016, I go kind of regretting the way that I had reacted to those elections. And so, I don't know if there's much else for me to say. Like, for example, here in 2018, it's pretty safe to say that Chris Kobach lost to Laura Kelly for Kansas governor. I'm not holding a bad sportsmanship over that. I was kind of well bracing myself for that, anyways. But hey, on the bright side of Laura Kelly winning, that means that I can like commentate. Like, I'll have plenty of content to commentate on regarding abortion, I guess, particularly on a state level. As far as Ted Cruz goes, I mean, it's the last I checked the results, Ted Cruz is like ahead of O'Rourke by a sizable margin, about 30,000 votes or something like that, with almost 20% of the vote in Texas being turned in. But even then, I'm still kind of bracing for the possibility that O'Rourke would still win against Cruz. That's like one of the few politicians I can point out by name and point out various different reasons as to why that I support said politician. But if he loses, again, I'm bracing myself for that. I'm not going to like throw a fit over the loss of Cruz. I don't intend to if he does end up losing to O'Rourke. Um, but yeah. And so, in turn, I would urge everyone else in America, like if you had a horse in the race, in many different races, that yes, politics is serious, and it's and taking action in what happens in your government. That is important. Seriously important issues right there. But it's not the end of the world if you lose a few elections, I say. I reacted that way with Obama twice, and yet was not the end of the world. So take that for what you will, like a word of encouragement, just a straight up piece of advice or whatever else have you, but that's all I have to say. Anyway, I am Zach, the Dark Conservatarian. Y'all have a good night. See y'all later, and God bless.